Guys, I think the Timberwolves could be in for some early success, a fast start to the season. We haven't really seen one of those with the kind of current roster we've been running, minus the swap of Cat for Randall and Dante. When we had Cat and Ant and Rudy and Jaden all together, we just didn't really see them come with early success in the season. They struggled to get wins, and we were always fighting for a higher seed at the end of the season. I think we're going to be looking at the opposite of that this year. I think we're going to win early. Tough schedule early, some easier wins in there, but 15 and 5, like even like 12 and 8 I would take. That's going to put us 12 and 8 is questionable. Got to go 14 and 6 at worst. 15 and 5 would be awesome. Anything better than that is exceptional. Um, but it has to happen this year, and here's why. You can't keep fighting for the 6th, 7th seed, the 5 seed. One of these years, we need to be the 1, 2, or 3, stake our claim, and actually have home court advantage throughout the entire playoffs. Playing down as a 6 last year wasn't awesome. We snuck some wins out at some away games, but end of the day, those scared me every single time. I would have rather been playing at the Target Center and hoping that we can win in Minnesota and not have to go back to LA or Golden State and have to sneak out another win on an away court with crowds that are much worse than Target Center. They like to say Target Center is a hard place to play. I don't think I totally agree with that. I really don't, but if we can have these early wins and we have 15 wins right off the start after 20 games, I mean, that pretty much locks us up for being at least a play-in team if something horrible happened. But I think being a 1 through 4 seed is not out of the question this year. I really don't see OKC repeating as the 1 seed. It's probably going to be the Rockets. The Timberwolves could make a claim to it, but Timberwolves slide more in at a 3 or a 4 in my eyes. Uh, and it's probably the Rockets and the OKC at the 1 and 2. That's my 2 cents on it. I think it makes a lot of sense that it could be a fast start. We finally have consistency on the roster. We finally have guys who are meshing. It's not just hodgepodging a team together at the last second of October and hoping that they can play together by April, which they did, and they made the Western Conference Finals because they gelled. Now they've had a whole year of gelling. Look at every other team that went far in previous years or whatever, like the teams we lost to. We lost to the Mavericks, who gelled really well. Luka and Kyrie had played together for at least a full season at that point. And then OKC last year, who came up together for essentially. Most of those guys drafted there. The ones who weren't, have been there a while, like Shea. I think Hartenstein and Caruso are the only two who weren't there to start the season. I think Caruso might have even been there to start the season. Now that I say that, it's all like NBA is more about meshing than any other league. Football, you can get out there and a guy's going to be open. NHL, it takes meshing, but at the end of the day, you're just playing with your line and you've got it. It seriously, I understand that the meshing is important, and 15 and 5 is not out of the question. Let me know what you guys think of that. I think 15 and 5 could be great, and I honestly think it is more than achievable. And if 14 and 6 or 12 to 8 doesn't happen, and we're sitting at 10 and 10 after the first 20 games, I'm gonna be sad and I'm gonna be mad at the Timberwolves because we should be much better off than that. Um, Moving into something less dramatic, guys, our jersey kit's basically complete. We've had all of them confirmed. We got the whites and the blues back of our normal jerseys. Not a shock there. I would expect that we're going to get new ones after this season. New ownership. I don't think a lot of people love them much anymore. It's a fine jersey. It's not awesome. It doesn't do anything to help the brand of Timberwolves, but they're okay. They're better than the Adidas ones, to be honest with you. I like them more than that. And then we obviously have our gray alternate, like our third jersey, that is just kind of the weird one and doesn't match anything. But at least it's not neon green. So those three for sure. And then we are obviously getting our city edition, the Prince one. They haven't said if it's going to be purple or if it's going to be slightly different than something before. So we're just going to assume that it's confirmed to be purple. And yeah, that's going to be pretty sick. Ant will look incredible in that. He's going to have some purple A2s come out and they're going to be awesome. Like that's just for sure going to happen. And then finally, we do have the Black Trees coming back. So we're pretty much just running back the 2018 2019 kit that we had with like Jimmy Butler, Cat, Wiggins, Jeff Teague, Derrick Rose. All of the jerseys they wore for that, we're basically wearing them this year. Just running it back. Why not? You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And Mark, Laura, and A Rod definitely understand that. They know what the fans like. They listen to fans. You know, they're fixing the tickets. They're fixing concession prices, I'm pretty sure, too. And they're even looking at upgrading the Target Center or building a new one. So they're listening to the fans, and this jersey kit speaks to that because at the end of the day, we know that decision doesn't come from Nike. It's coming from within the organization. So someone had to make the decision, and they definitely listened to the right people who were telling them how to improve jersey sales. And this is a great way to do it because we haven't seen Ant play in the trees yet or the Purple Prince, and we know both those sell like gangbusters. So why not get them back on shelves? Um, Going back to the dramatic side of things, Anthony Edwards lost his marbles on that little tour he was doing to promote his AE2s. I'll be honest, I couldn't believe he said it. He said, I promise you the Timberwolves will win the NBA Finals this year. That's a bold claim. You can't just go around claiming that. Oh, I can't believe I just sneezed. You can't go around claiming that. You absolutely cannot. Like, he's nuts. Like, I can't believe he went out and said that. Like, yeah, we all want to believe it. Yeah, we're all hopeful for it. But to actually go out of your way on a tour in a stadium full of people who are there for your shoe and say the Timberwolves will win an NBA Finals this year, you're bold, man. Not very often does the guarantee pay off. I can think of Joe Namath, and that might be the only guarantee I can actually think of. What are the other guarantees? Drop them in the comments. I can't remember them, but I know there's more. But like Joe Namath is the guarantee, so that one sticks out to me. But I'll take a guarantee from it. You know what? I'm changing my mind. I'm changing my tune. And it's right. Timberwolves are winning it all this year. I like the attitude. Let's go out and prove everyone wrong. Let's just do it. Let's do the damn thing. Let's just win it. Get the monkey off your back. You know, finally win a championship. Bring home the first championship to Minnesota since the Twins won one back in '92. Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. But why not? Why not us? You know, why not? And you know what? Actually, I'm going with Ant's model. Believe that. Believe that. We're winning a title this year. All right. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. Uh, One quick thing. Let's say, and this is kind of stemming from recent news and like whatever I've seen, basically bashing the Warriors for their decisions and draft picks that they've made since 2020, I think, let's say. Um, we obviously know that they told everyone LaMelo Ball was their pick at 2, and they go with James Wiseman. The following year, they work out Tyrese Halliburton and pass on him and take Kaminga, or 2 years at 22, 20, 20, 20, 20. That was 20. That was 20. The next year, everyone was set on Franz in the organization, it seemed like, and they go with Jonathan Kaminga. Nothing wrong with Kaminga. Fine pick, but I would rather have LaMelo or Tyrese or Franz than I would any of the guys they picked. It just didn't work out for him. And for an organization that had been drafting so well for so long, for it not to work out, I think is weird to a lot of people. But that's sports. Comes and goes. You can't really you don't really get a say in, you know, whether a guy's going to pan out or not. You can certainly try and whatever, but hindsight's 2020. How are you supposed to know that LaMelo, you know, his ankles might kind of hold together, or that Tyrese was going to be what he is, or Franz Wagner? Oh wait, that's right, because you scout them and you know. Besides the point, that's where this trade's coming from. Because I thought, why not us? Why don't we get LaMelo Ball in a little trade here? So working this one out, let's say we wipe off all that consistency I was talking to you guys about, and we go and make a 3-team trade with the Hornets and the Nets. Now, I bet you're wondering, what are we giving up to get that? That sounds weird. Well, we're getting LaMelo Ball from the Hornets, and from the Nets, we're going to take on Nicholas Claxton. I like it. LaMelo and Ant next to each other, I think actually could play pretty well. I know there's only one basketball, but LaMelo is a great passer. Ant's gonna be open all the time if he has someone who can guaranteed get him the ball from any spot on the court. I wouldn't mind seeing LaMelo out there. 37 million for the next 4 years is an absolute steal for a guy like LaMelo. Rudy's gonna be making more than him here soon, which is wild. Nicholas Claxton, a guy that I've traded for here before, think it makes a lot of sense. Why not? Let's go get him. And then we're giving up to the Hornets. They're going to take Rudy, Mike Conley, and they're getting their new point guard of the future of Rob Dillingham. I think this trade makes sense for him because, as far as I'm aware, they don't have a center who's capable. Rudy would actually slide in nicely into this roster, and then they get 2 point guards for a little bit of depth there. The Nets are just kind of here. We're going to toss them a first round pick, but then we're also giving them Dante DiVincenzo and Pat Connaughton. Weird trade, but honestly makes sense for all three teams. The Nets are looking to clear cap, obviously. They're looking to make some big splashes this next year. It's a huge free agency class in 2016, way stronger than it was in 2025. They're going to have a ton of free agency money open, and taking on 2 contracts like that is certainly going to help them. When they're dumping off Nicholas Claxton's $25 million a year. Hornets, new look for the team. Kind of seems like they're leaning towards Brandon Miller being the guy there. They have some other nice young pieces in Con Kneppel and Kalkbrenner and some other guys there too. But why not go and get a center who can kind of lock down everything in the front court, and then your backcourt actually doesn't get that much worse with Mike Conley and Dillingham. I think Dillingham going there might actually help him with development for sure. And for the Timberwolves, you get Claxton, who's a serviceable center, maybe not as highly touted as a player as Rudy Gobert is, but I still believe in the guy. I think he's actually a quality center who gets overlooked quite frequently. And obviously, LaMelo Ball is the big catch of this trade. Getting LaMelo onto the Wolves, I think, is actually incredible. You could run a starting lineup of LaMelo, Ant, Jaden, Randall, Claxton, or Nas if you really want to, but then you're going Claxton or Nas off the bench with TSJ and Clark. That's pretty tough. And Baron J's there too. Yeah, that's a good team. That's a good squad. I'll take that squad versus anyone. But that's all I've got for you guys today. Let me know what you think of the trades and some of the other stuff we talked about, and I will see you on the next one.